this is, but it's fucking huge. Oh my god. We just hooked a monster on the bridge.
It is one of those crazy eye-opening experiences where you're looking at that and you're like, wow, this is a place where there is species that are huge and they get really big and they're all possible to catch from shore. And it definitely begs the question, you know, what is possible from shore?
This is, but it's fucking huge. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. Or is it a shark? Could be a shark. Might be a shark. I think it's a shark. That's sick. It's a shark. Shark. Oh, that was sick.
Fishing for tarpon was one of the most frustrating, but also one of the most amazing experiences. To me, they're definitely one of the pinnacle of Florida species, being as big and powerful as they are. But there was so many struggles that came with fishing for them. They would eat up your tackle. You're fishing for hours for that one bite. There's very small windows in where they're feeding. And so to be able to even catch them, you have to time it out perfectly to when those fish are gonna feed. I mean, I've been getting my ass handed to me, so I've been getting my ass handed to me with this right here, and now we're gonna upgrade to this so I don't get my ass handed to me as hard. Also just the sheer power that those fish have. The ability to take some of the strongest jig heads that you can buy and just twist the metal like it is nothing. I mean, that in and among itself is something that is just so remarkable coming from a fish. One main goal in mind going to Florida where I wanted to land in what was my mind the pinnacle of Florida fish, and that being the tarpon. There's just something about those fish that just keeps me up at night and keeps me thinking about how you can land them. And it's that challenge. That challenge is what brings you back when it comes to fishing. That challenge is what, you know, every fisherman fishes for. It's part of the reason why it's such a special fish. If you are fortunate enough to actually land one, that's just, that in and among itself is a really big success. When you talk to people about tarpon fishing, no one ever talks about how many did you land in a day. It's mostly people talking about how many did you jump. And if you jumped a few too many, that is actually as good as you can do. And from shore, it's definitely one of those scenarios that even jumping it, as mad as I was every time they would shake the hook, God, there's just something about seeing a fish that's that big fly out of the water that is just so cool and so sick. And it never got old. Every time it happened, my jaw would just drop because, God, it was a cool fish. And I felt so fortunate to have had the opportunity to fish for it. One of the species that I really wanted to catch in Florida was the snook. Snook, from what I'd heard, was a fish that was very similar to what I fish for, being striped bass. And so I knew that I could kind of implement the same techniques and tactics that I use for striped bass fishing, and I could carry those over towards the snook fishing. where do I even begin about the Goliath grouper?
Oh my God. We just hooked the monster under the bridge. Just hooked the fucking monster under the bridge. Actually, kind of not sure what to do here. I think he just swam out the other side of this bitch.
The sheer power of being hooked into a fish like that is just something that when you haven't had that experience before, it's almost hard to comprehend the power. The thing that I could probably say is as close to hooking into a Goliath grouper would be go to your nearest car, take your hook, put it in the car, and let it just idle away from you. Because that's about what it's like hooking into a Goliath grouper. There's something about a barracuda that I feel like might be one of the most classic Florida fish. Whenever you think of like tropical fishing, I always think of barracudas, and oh my God, they gotta be one of the most fun fish ever. The speed that they can take off at, they're hitting top water, they're jumping out of the water. I mean, they're jumping 6-10 feet out of the water like it's nothing. And the fact that they can just hunt down anything in the ocean that swims. There's nothing faster than it. It's the fastest fish around, and it just takes out anything in its path. Just full killer instinct. There's nothing like it.
That was ridiculously epic. It's a huge barracuda. I don't know if I'm... Okay. Shit. Teeth on this thing is just not nice. That's terrifying.
There's definitely a few species that I still want to come back and tangle with again, and I think I barely scratched the surface of what's possible from shore there, and I think there's plenty other species that are even bigger and even meaner that I didn't quite have the chance to tangle with. So I'm excited because I'm gonna for sure go back, and I think that I'm gonna have more opportunities to tangle with these unbelievable fish in the future.